You
Oh,
know.
I'll talk about that. See, the important thing is that I'm absolutely schmemmered.
We start off looking at our main character, finding out what
This motherfucker, his name is Maki. He's the best guy ever. He goes through a huge character arc. Actually, that's actually one of the most important things, babe, that I would ever say about this entire manga. That my favorite thing about the manga, and I say this to everybody when I'm asked, or when I'm not asked, because I tell anyways, is this manga is a 9 out of 10 when it's only Aikawa and Maki in the frame. But when everyone else gets involved, it becomes like an 8 or a 7 out of 10. There is one giant blemish on this manga that prevents me from enjoying it thoroughly and worshipping it as a sacred text that it is, and that we need to conserve it and turn it into an anime already. Sorry, I get heated. And that is, did I tell you this, V, about the one blemish?
Tell me again.
So, spoiler alert. The spoiler for the entire series of this video. There is a, so there's like 3 friends, and you know those 3 friends that follow like Kaiwa around, always asking, them for advice?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, you're like the secret weapon, you're like a boy and a girl, you should know what they're thinking, right?
Yeah.
There's the lesbian chick, and then their chick that loves Maki, and then there's that last chick with the ribbon in her hair. So there is a little side story that isn't part of the like main story, but it's like a little side story that they wrote, right? And they're all talking about the type of person that they're into, and obviously like the little lesbian chick, it's like, no, I don't know what kind of guy I like, and then she's obviously into girls, and then the other girl likes Maki. It's all obvious, except for her. It is heavily implied later on at the end of the chapter that she is into her brother, and I was like, Bleh! I should do that. I'm kind of fucked up.
No, honestly, it's very common, and unfortunately, it's a trope for a reason. It's disgusting.
Oh wow, that's horrible. Anyways, yeah. Other than that, I love this manga. This manga is one of my fucking favorites of all time, and in fact, is the reason you even have peach cola to begin with. I was born from this. It's essentially. I mean, I'm not gonna fucking go into detail. I'm not gonna read any of these. Me and you are gonna read these one by one when we have the chance. This is just a summary. We're gonna voice act V. We're gonna fucking voice act. Yeah, but for now, essentially, the gist of the story is that this guy comes into the school and he meets this dude. Yeah, that's a dude, by the way. Or so. Here, let me actually get something else I love about this manga. So it is always heavily implied that he's a dude. Obviously, we didn't know much about that back in the day, but now we know more because we're based. Not like Florida. Florida's not based. Florida's being cringe right now. I don't know if I'm gonna put that in the video. I'm just ranting. So one of my reasons why I do love this character so much is because they're very non-binary coded. So we go back to the peach cola thing. Peach cola, essentially what it means in its most standard form, is the little candy scene. We'll get there when we get there.
In the Prunus universe, it is known that the flavor peach is indicative of the feminine qualities, and cola is indicative of the masculine qualities. No, so the marrying of the two is actually, even though those two separate tastes are good on their own, combining the two actually gives it a unique and honestly pretty refreshing flavor.
I'd say so. There's this little scene, essentially where my name comes from. What do you call that? At the end of the manga, like somewhere around the end of the manga, they bring it back, and Maki basically says that, essentially, of like, I don't really care what you are. I think it makes more sense when you're both peach and cola. And there you go. That's the origins of peach cola. That's essentially where I got my name. And I ran with it for like a couple of years. Pretty much the manga plays out as I explained. Maki's like, that's a dude, that's a dude. Doesn't admit that he's super gay for this guy. I'm gonna refer to Aikawa as a guy for the most part of this, but keep in mind that they're very non-binary coded. Oh, this person. Do you remember what happens to this person? You haven't. I don't know if you remember we read this far, but do you remember what happens to this person?
Oh gosh, remind me, because it is.
She becomes a Fujiyoshi, she essentially like goes from being this person chasing Maki to realizing how close Maki and Aikawa are, and she's like, oh my god, I ship that like fucking hard. Like I need that to happen.
Pushing it to happen.
Yeah. She becomes obsessed with it. I don't say this much often because I don't really care for like slice of life romantic anime, but this one do be the hitting different. It's very full of animeisms. Oh, here you go. Here's the animeisms I'm talking about. So what I call animeisms is like
accidental fault. Well, I call them tropes.
Well, yeah, I don't know why I call them animeism. Tropes. Shit like this, like, oh no, I accidentally fell on top of you, right? Mm-hmm. There's this whole side plot of everyone trying to figure out what Aikawa's real gender is. Obviously, this would be kind of a hot topic nowadays because gender is very different. We're learning new things every day. I dare say in something that I'm definitely gonna cut out, never gonna put it in the video. Don't do it, Peach. I'm fucking telling you right now, you crazy son of a bitch. Right now, look at me. Look at me in the eyes. Look at your avatar in the eyes. Because I'm recording. I'm recording with my avatar, by the way. You can't see it, but okay. Look at me in the eyes. Look at me in the eyes. Don't fucking put this in the video. Okay. I dare say that this manga itself actually helped me with. That's why it's so important to me.
I wouldn't frown upon that. Everybody has something that has inspired them.
There it is! Sorry, this is the this is the part, by the way. This is the thing. Kawa's like, let's do the candy game. And Maki's like, what the fuck? Candy game? That's some liberal shit. And like Kawa's like just fucking with him. Oh, this is a good question. This is a good question. This is like this is the way this manga gets kind of based. He's like, since you wear those clothes, you must wish you were born a girl, right? He's like, I wonder. That's a good question, isn't it? And then it goes on to the usual shenanigans. And see, he's perfectly fine, whichever you end up thinking. That's some good. You know what? I'd say non-binary, but it could also be gender fluid, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Gender fluid's also very pretty based. Damn. So yeah, look, this is what I mean. Like, Maki's like, here, you can pick my gender essentially, and Maki's like, no, wait, this doesn't mean anything, right? This is not a big deal. And then he's like, wait a minute, maybe it's more of a big deal than I think it is. So he's just like, I'm just gonna fucking do this. Peach cola.
Insert explosion sounds here.
Yeah, insert a bunch of shit in here, Peach. Remember that. You don't have access to a lot of that stuff, but you know what to do. It's hard when you put on me. I mean, both are extreme choices. I couldn't get comfortable with it. As far as I'm concerned, is how you are now is more like you, or you to have you not be a guy while being a girl it just doesn't suit your image. See what I mean? He's like, it has to be both. And then he gays it up. This is such a good manga, man. I wish this was an anime. I'd sacrifice my firstborn child.
That's so cute.
Whoa, this is chapter 1?